Hey students, I just wanted to give you an extra video to help you edit and go through your essay and check it. So here we have the final draft checklist. Go through it. Go through it, and not only go through it, but then you want to have your essay out as well as you're checking your essay with the checklist. Okay, so first one, and that's in bold. Did I include valid suggestions from the teacher's review of my essay? So if you shared your essay with me, if you turned in your rough draft, I should have given you feedback. Go through, check those suggestions. Do you have to take all of my suggestions? No, but consider them. Did I eliminate any slang? So go through and make sure that there's no slang in your essay. Did I use a formal style with third person pronouns, right? So remember, third person, the example would be he, she, they, right? And no we, I, me, none of that, okay? So that's what I mean when I say third person. Did I look for places where I can use more precise language, referring to how the Civil War changed America? So make sure that your essay is talking about how the Civil War changed America, because that's the prompt. But when we're talking about precise language, are you using language from our unit? Are you using words like America? Are you using words like Civil War, change, perspective, point of view, civil rights, equal rights? So just that type of language. Did I include textual evidence such as quotations to support my claim? Did I use quotation marks and direct quotations from the text? Did I cite my sources accurately? Meaning you didn't just throw a quote in, I know who said the quote and I know where it's from, right? So I'm going to write that in there too. Who said the quote and where you got it from. Okay, did I make sure my organization is clear and makes sense? Did I use smooth transitions between paragraphs? Did I check my spelling? Remember, you have a tools part right here. You click on it, spelling and grammar check. It will go through and check. Use that. I use it. It's very useful. Okay. Then did I capitalize the first word of every sentence? And did I use correct punctuation like capitalization for all proper nouns? So this is nothing new. These are things that we've learned about, but I need you to go through and check your essay. So let's go through and check someone's essay. So here's an essay. Right away, I don't know if you guys can tell, there are some things that are not right with it. Spacing, the way the paragraphs are too far apart, right? They didn't indent. So to indent, you just press tab. You want to see that again? Tab, the tab button, T-A-B. So every new paragraph, you want to press the tab button, and actually you don't need a space in between there. So all of this, we don't need this, we just tab. Okay. So this is someone's essay. They wanted me to check it out for them. But let me check it out, and I wanted to do that in a video just to show you guys how it should look. So here, the spacing is correct. What we want to do is select all or Command A. Click on this. This is line spacing. Can you guys see that? Line spacing. Let's go to double. Now that looks much better. 12-point fonts, and I personally like Times. This one, Calibri, that one's okay. I'm a big Times New Roman fan. All right, so now that looks much better. It's easier to read. It's not bunched up together. Let's check out the introduction. The Civil War. Right away, I can tell there's some things that need to be changed. And typically when I give you guys feedback, I go in suggesting. That way when I do make suggestions, you can see it. So the Civil War changed people's views for freedom and how they were treated, okay? 30% of Southern white males, the S should be capitalized as well, between the ages of 18 and 40 died in the Civil War. Again, remember, the Civil War is a proper noun, so we need to capitalize that. Okay, so good facts, good opening. The fight between the United States of America. This is a fragment. That's not a full sentence. So I'm just going to let them know that. Okay. The fight was between who? The conflict began prayerly. That may not be a word. Okay. As a result, over the slavery, that's a typo, between Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth, that's very confusing, fought the evil minds of slavery, which has caused Sullivan Ballou was a hero for risking life and hometown and beliefs, illuminating the truth about slavery. Okay, so there's some good in here. There's definitely some good in here. But I think this is supposed to be its own sentence, maybe. And then I think I'm going to put a period there. This is probably supposed to be its own sentence. Okay, so this is confusing. I'm just going to let them know they probably want to reword that because it's confusing. Okay. And then thesis. Thesis is not really strong. Where is the thesis? I don't see a very strong thesis. Maybe I'm tripping, but I don't. Okay. Frederick, remember, we're not going to call him Frederick. We could say his whole name, but really you want to call him by his last name. Oh, and actually, my bad. That's not supposed to be italicized. So Douglass was an American social reformer. Spaces after the comma. Writer and also a statesman. Okay, so this is like, describe. To me, I'm not seeing a lot about change. So I'm just seeing this paragraph is just about his life, but I'm not seeing enough about how he changed America. How did he change? So remember, we have to follow the prompt. We have to answer the prompt, address the prompt. This essay will get marked down if they turn it in as a final essay, if they don't talk about how the Civil War changed America. And there's really nothing in this paragraph about how Frederick Douglass changed America or people's thoughts about freedom. It's just background on Frederick Douglass. It's good to have a little bit of background, but this whole paragraph is just background. It doesn't really say, I mean, this would be good, his autobiography, talking about how his autobiography maybe changed people's ideas of freedom, but that's not what they say in this essay. Okay, looks like the same thing with Sojourner Truth. It's just background information, which is fine, but you got to go that extra step. So talk about how she was an abolitionist and she worked for women's rights, but tell me, what did she do to change America and change people's ideas of freedom? And there's nothing in here that really says that. And let's look at the conclusion. Slavery was a big battle that 100 people died, took place because the southern state. So this is a little confusing. I don't really see that it's a conclusion. So what I would probably advise this person to do is I would tell them to go to Google Classroom, go to informative essay, go to informative essay guides, and there's how an intro is supposed to look. There's how a body paragraph is supposed to look, sentence starters, and conclusion starters, sentence starters, and the guide, right? Like an outline of how it's supposed to look. And I would tell them to use this because their essay doesn't really follow this type of structure. Okay, well guys, that's it. Just make sure, obviously, if your essay is looking like this, if your essay is looking more like a report, like an autobiography on Douglass, Sojourner Truth, or whoever, that's not what I'm asking you. And this essay, I mean, I would give them some points, but this essay, I'd probably give it a good solid 65 points, which is still an F. 65 points because, hey, you did the assignment, you turned something in, but you didn't do it right. You did it wrong. You gave me a report on the Civil War, but you didn't talk about the prompt. You didn't do this, right? This essay did not talk about how people's efforts redefine what it means to be an American, or how the Civil War changed Americans and their ideas about freedom. So if your essay doesn't talk like that, I can't give you anything higher than an F. So please make sure that your essay does that. If you have more questions, just let me know. You can email me or message me on Remind. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video because I'll talk more about the essay. Make sure you go through and use this checklist. If you're really struggling, make sure you go to Google Classroom and use these guides, okay? And then make sure you turn it in here where it says turn in informative essay. Turn it in there. That's where you need to turn it in. Once you turn it in, so all these 9 people in my Core 1 who turned in their essay, they're telling me that their essay is done, that it's ready for a final grade, okay? So once you turn yours in, that means it's done and it's ready for a final grade. So if you feel like, mine may not be done, you can unsubmit it, work on it, and then resubmit it before tomorrow night, before midnight, and I won't even know the difference. It won't show that it's late, okay? All right, that is all I have for you today. Stay safe, stay home, and stay healthy.